What is up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Holocrons, episode 72. And in this one, we're going to be talking about the main subject, of course, will be Tales of the Empire. What an amazing series that was. But of course, before we get too deep into the meat of the podcast, we have announcements and we have fun things to talk about in the first parts. We have the announcements from May the 4th that we weren't able to cover from the last podcast, of course. The big ones for Black Series, which I'm very excited about, are that we will be getting a Emperor Palpatine from the Throne Room. That was an Amazon exclusive, which is sadly already pre-ordered, sold out again, I believe. That was awesome to see that. Did not expect to see Throne Room Palps coming back. We also got the 3-pack of some Jedi Survivor droids, the Super Battle Droid, B1 Battle Droid, and the Magna Guard, or Magma Guard.
Yeah, he's a new friend, so I'm hoping that we get, just like we got the Super Battle Droid, to get a single of him.
Well, the Magna Guard did have a single, but what we're really hoping for is that his feet get fixed, because apparently he had a really hard time. He had really loosey-goosey leg joints. So that was the Attack of the Clones version.
Yeah, this one is different, slightly different, I believe, too.
And then we also, of course, have, let's see... Man, the other big drops, I think, was
there's a Yoda one, wasn't there?
Yes, that sold out immediately. That sold out in premium. There was the Yoda
the Jedi
and
Council Yoda.
Yeah, he comes with his seat. That was the big thing. And Commander Gree. He doesn't really look like Commander Gree. He just looks like a clone.
It was so supposedly it's like because I guess Kashyyyk is
the image that they are taking. The image that it seems they are taking this color scheme from is Phase 1 Commander Gree. Yeah. That's why he's painted like that. That's the original
color scheme.
Yeah, which makes more sense. But he's on a Phase 2 helmet.
Apparently, the Greeks wore that before the Battle of Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
I guess which doesn't make complete sense why he'd completely change everything for Kashyyyk. So I think it's just early Phase 2, maybe.
Maybe it's because he knew it's going to be a really long campaign, and they're going to be there for a really, really hard time. So camo and setup. I don't know.
I mean, we already have a Gree, so I guess it's nice to have a different version of Gree. Though I would have, like I mentioned, I would have rather him been Phase 1. I think that would have been nicer.
We do also then get a Darth Sidious from Revenge of the Sith. So he's wearing his crimson red robes. Finally get him with his lightsaber. That's going to be a really awesome one.
That's
lightning hands for everybody.
The lightning the lightning in the previous ones are cool, but this one is definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one, if you don't have Palpatine, he's definitely one you want to pick up.
And I'm gonna be, even though I have a Palpatine and I'm getting another one in the throne, I'm getting this one too, just because the iconic red robes and stuff. It's so different. And then we're getting the B1 Battle Droid single release. So thankfully we didn't have to wait too long for that. That's awesome to get that single release, because I was not buying that double pack. I really did not need a B1 3PO.
Yeah, I ended up canceling mine when I have this new one pre-ordered as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a really good time on the Black Series line of things. TVC kind of showed off a little bit more of their pipeline and whatnot. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking golden. There was a lot of deals and specials. I'm picking up a Dr. Aphra here soon. I got for like $8. That was nice. You know, lots of good comic deals. Comic Book Day, of course, was out. I'd say the biggest announcement for comics is honestly the Dark Horse High Republic Adventures is doing Echoes of Fear, which is going to be a Sith-driven High Republic comic. Now, that one I'm excited about. That was just announced, I believe, today or yesterday. So that one's going to be awesome. Now, then we also do, of course, have a lot of the other larger scale things.
And I believe some of the High Republic paperback as well. One of them came out, and I believe a couple more for the rare people like me that prefer the paperback over the large hardback. And then the larger scale things we got, I believe only one major from Sideshow, but I believe it's something we've already had. But we got a lot from Hot Toys, which is the big one lately.
Yeah.
The one you were excited to see, which is the Gold Chrome Clone Trooper.
It looks so clean.
All the phases, helmets, and everything, so you can change out. It goes along with the Chrome series they started putting out, which probably means we're going to see some more Commander Cody. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a Rex coming shortly.
Yeah.
We got the Shadow Trooper, Stormtrooper. I have one of the helmets, and that one's a pretty classic Though I don't know if they've ever. I don't know if it's canon currently, but it's basically the all black
Mm-hmm.
stormtrooper. Originally, they were like elite special ops unit. I think they kind of gotten replaced by the Death Troopers canonically.
Yeah, a lot of the
But the,
operatives got kind of. It's like it's one of those weird canon things where they weren't told that's not real, but they're also not showing them ever again.
yeah, I imagine they'll eventually add it back.
Yeah.
Um, we also my favorite one is we got the Darth Maul,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes with his bike. We've had a Darth Maul before, but this one's a lot more cleaner.
Yeah.
Uh, Amazing sculpt, just straight from the actor's face, and then like I said, the bike, and
Mm-hmm.
you get actually the little droid, secret droid, and everything as well.
That reminds me, actually, thank you. There was a GameStop exclusive 3-pack too, actually, for Black Series. Because that was you're saying new scope of Maul is the only thing that reminded me because we're getting a repack of Phase of Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, but with robes, and then we're getting a brand new sculpted Darth Maul for that 3-pack from GameStop exclusive as well. So looks like, hey, Darth Maul, he's really shining. People are really falling in love with
Well,
him.
yeah. Yeah, I'll bring up the Disney releases after this, and it's a lot of
Mm.
Darth Maul.
Yeah,
Um, and then the other interesting figure, which I did not see coming, is the Dark Empire Luke Skywalker.
that's the one I like the
Um,
most, honestly.
Basically, if you'd never seen it before, it's kind of imagine taking some kit bash
Hmm.
pieces from Darth Vader,
Yeah.
like the belt and some of his armor. And just
That
add it to Luke. It
very
looks like a.
weirdly
It looks.
suggestive hip piece that goes right over their groin. I don't know why that has a weird like suction cup look to it, but it's always made me feel a little strange. I'm not gonna lie, it's always been a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird it's on his outfit, but yeah. One that also came out of nowhere was the Jedi Survivor Scout Trooper
Hmm.
Commander. Um, we've had Scout Troopers. It's got the harness, the pauldron, and stuff that's from that, plus the electric baton. For those that do collect the premium figures, I was telling him about it. The bike on it is probably the cleanest that we've gotten. It's
Hmm.
one of the best bikes that I've seen. The paint is, at least from the pictures, is spectacular.
A good speeder
Um,
bike is awesome.
yeah, so if you like the Hot Toy vehicles, that is a must buy for you. I know a lot of people are going to end up. That's going to be a favorite for sure.
Hmm.
And then another. Speaking of favorites, the last one that we got was a Darth Revan. With supposedly this one's a special release. It's supposed to have LED light up
Ooh,
lightsabers.
so good.
The most detail we've ever gotten with because they've done a Darth Revan before, but this one is supposed to be like the best
Super
that they've ever
premium
released.
awesomeness. And it makes
And
sense.
then
We're getting this awesome, like, I'm loving this dark side stuff. Everything's this awesome push for the dark side. 2024 year of the Sith.
and out of a sideshow, I only remember seeing the Obi-Wan. I could be
Hmm.
wrong. I think there's only thing new really that hit for sideshow was the Obi-Wan, which is a fantastic Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
interesting enough is you get both the actors' heads. You can either get Ian or I forgot
Alec.
his name.
Alec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get either one. You can change their heads out. But it's like a Tatooine, so it's like all
That's
deserty, and
awesome.
he's got a cool lightsaber. It's a really nice sculpt and pose for him.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Disney side of things,
Darth
we
Maul,
got
everything. You want to watch? You got backpacks.
yeah,
We got towels. We got, oh my,
yeah
everything
this
Darth Maul,
the
including his
jackets.
lightsaber.
Yeah, the lightsaber's already been a thing, but it's like redone.
Yeah.
And then I don't know
New
if you've
box
seen
that
the
sings.
box.
It sings and
Yeah,
yeah.
the box it has LED lights, so
Hmm.
when you slide it open, it's pressure sense, so it ignites red and it glows, and then it plays the Duel of Fates, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
And yeah, it's fantastic lightsaber.
Now it's the
Probably
holocrons. The holocrons are what excited me the most when it came to those new ones.
well, this lightsaber is probably better. I would definitely pick this one over the Black Series for
Oh
sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. I heard it was
But yeah,
heavy too because it's got a good metal hilt.
they did a phase two of the crystals. So the crystals are
Hmm.
different. Supposedly, there's now no longer a black crystal, but there's cracked crystals. I believe it's cracked blue and cracked red crystals, and then some new voice lines and new characters.
Yeah, we got High Republic too.
We haven't gotten the full list of characters. I think there's
Soon.
because they don't really release the list, so it's
Hmm.
we just gotta wait till people just find all the characters and all the
Yep.
lines. So it's just announced, and they probably haven't fully been
And man,
stocked yet.
it sold out really fast, so expect hopefully a restock soon. I would hope.
And a
I heard
phase
that
two,
the lines at at like the park
yeah.
were over 3 hours long just to get in the
Well,
store.
the park, they stopped letting people in because they hit occupancy on
Yeah.
that weekend.
Yep.
The whole weekend, the whole occupancy, they stopped letting people through. But yeah, they have new holocrons as well, phase 2 holocrons.
Yep.
They are more
Look
see-through.
Nice. They have a
And
silver lining.
slightly different color, and yeah, they're silver instead of gold. The other ones were gold. I believe it was like gold and bluish green. The new one's kind of this
Silver,
greenish
yeah.
tealish
And then
color.
the new one, the old
And
Jedi
the other
was
one's
blue and gold. The new Jedi is green and silver.
it's like a tealish green, and then
Yeah.
the Sith one's more instead of red, it's more of a purplish red,
Hmm.
and it's silver instead of gold. Like I said, it's more see-through esque instead of kind of just like a solid
Yeah.
color.
Lights up a bit easier that way.
I have the Yeah, and they still connect, and they've supposedly still function with each other. But yeah, I don't think we didn't get any really new lightsabers yet.
Sadly, no.
Which they just dropped a bunch of characters, so I wasn't surprised about that.
Yeah. But we did get a really awesome Lego announcement, which a lot of us didn't see coming.
We got 2 new trailers, but yeah, the Lego one came out of nowhere for sure.
Right, because I think the best thing about the Lego one is they're using Lego for more or less the Star Wars What If-esque world. What is it called? Rebuild the Galaxy or something like that?
Well, it's more of like a meme in a way.
Yeah. But it's Lego Star Wars having a fun time and just, doing their thing. And it's like, what is his name? It's like, I think his name was like Jedi Joe. But it was one of the very first Jedi characters that they ever made. So it's one of the yellow skinned Lego pieces. And he was just an anonymous Jedi. He wasn't anyone in particular. So he is apparently needing to save the galaxy as the master bricks being taken or something. And it's throwing everything into chaos. So all the moments that are happening are all askew and things aren't the way they're supposed to be.
Like the Battle of Hoth, the walkers are actually on the rebel side, so they're like rebellion AT-ATs, and then of course the big one everyone's really excited about is Darth Jar Jar.
Yes, they revealed a Darth Jar Jar at the end, which will be voice acted by Ahmed Best, so he will be returning for Jar Jar for this one.
Yeah, that one's pretty awesome. Yeah, It's just everything's reversed or done ridiculous, which the cool thing about Legos, they have the contracts, they can get away with whatever they want with it. That's the reason why the Lego movie has Star Wars characters, Justice League characters, like all the characters, Batman, everything. It's just Harry Potter. That's because they got license for literally everything.
Every single thing, and they're not going to give them up, which would be stupid too. So I don't blame them.
Probably the only license that literally has like every character. I know some like Fortnite try, but they don't have anything on Lego, and Lego still is grabbing properties. They're
to say this to Lego though, I mean Lego's in Fortnite now too, so it's like they just combine that way almost. But
it almost
Lego
feels like you're taking Fortnite with that Fortnite mode.
Yeah, Lego itself though is doing really awesome with that, and the Darth Jar Jar is going to be amazing to watch someone get to play with that and just have a fun time. So if you ever wanted to see Darth Jar Jar, you finally get to. Was this like Misa gonna hurt somebody or something like that? I was like, it's campy. It's not. Don't expect it to be scary or serious. It's just gonna be fun.
I better see like a forced tongue move or something.
Right? Yeah, something like that. Or he just drops his lightsaber still because it's still fucking Jar Jar. He's not acrobatic all of a sudden.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great time.
I don't know if I would trust him with the lightsaber. Luckily, he doesn't have a double bladed.
Not at all.
I mean, we joke about it, but a Gungan Force user,
that'd be terrifying.
They're like an Ewok. An Ewok being a Jedi, it's just they're very violent culture. The only time we see so far a Gungan outside of the Gungans was a really bad guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There hasn't been too many Gungans outside of the episode 1 that aren't like mercenaries or pirates or marauders.
I mean, they're a very violent culture.
Yeah.
And their first instinct when they got ambassadors was to kill them. And then even when they did, like, it's like, hey, we're on your side, we're going to help you out. They still tricked them into, they kind of basically fed them to the fishes. It wasn't for like main character protection. Would have been the other way around, but
Right.
I
So
mean,
there
I
we
guess
got
you
that,
got
and
to with
then
how
what
they
was?
live. So.
Oh yeah, the next trailer was Acolyte.
Yeah, we got a new acolyte. Not too much new reveals besides the ending, which you had a
Oh,
reaction to,
yeah, because it
and
was the most
I
amazing.
I remember watching it, and then I was like, I can't
Oh.
wait for you to see the ending. I wanted to see your reaction. But your reaction, the main portion of it was like everybody else is like, yeah, yeah, that's let's
Yeah.
get something
Okay.
new, and then we dropped a new Sith character finally.
Oh my
Um,
god, and that mask is so hideous. I love it. It's got like a wicked smile to it with these like golden steel teeth. Looks really, really evil. It looks old. It looks really old, and I'm wondering if it's a relic or like some possessed artifact, or if this is
it
just
kind of
some
reminds me the
crazy
Knights
old
of
Jedi.
the Ren mask or Kylo
Yeah,
style
I've seen a
mask.
lot of
But
people talk about Knights of Ren with it too.
but that's like kind of the generic when we get the Old Republic style masks too. They're kind of all like that anyways. So
Hmm.
that's more of an Old Republic thing with the masks.
Every
The
Sith in
newer,
the Old Republic had a mask.
well, not every, just the
The good ones.
interesting ones.
Yeah, the interesting ones that people like to cosplay.
But it goes back to the idea of Darth Vader.
Hmm.
Like I mentioned before, the one thing that makes Darth Vader so cool is the mask, the intimidation,
Yeah.
just the mysterious. It's a presence when
Well, can
he's
you
in the room.
imagine if we knew about Darth Malgus before Darth Vader? When Darth Vader came around, we'd be like, "Who's this Malgus ripoff?"
Yeah,
Like that's so. Yeah,
but
Vader.
it's
Vader
just
is
yeah,
he's the stamp. Vader is the
he's
guy who
the
set it.
trendsetter. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I feel like Kylo failed
Mm.
because I think even his like outburst that people call like childish tantrums because it kind of felt that way. If he did them with the mask on, I feel like it would be more of a sinister like
Hmm.
anger outburst instead of like a child because with this mask off, it did kind of look like a child throwing a tantrum. So if they do have this mask on this character, they better keep it on. It's the same
Hey, if
thing we got with
Anakin
the.
hadn't been a Jedi the whole time, he would have thrown the same tantrums.
Imagine the new character we got with Ahsoka when everybody was just like, "Who is this guy?" When
Hmm.
with the Knights of Ren, the impact they had, and they were barely on screen.
Dude, yeah. Hopefully they will learn from those past, uh, you know, viewer discrepancies that a few people have picked up on or felt to the fact of yeah, let this guy be mysterious and. But if they, I mean, also at the same time though, we don't have to because if they have a good enough script for this person to reveal themselves, I want them to. But I think the big thing is just now it's come down to writing. And again, we have
Yeah,
better writing rooms, better writing teams. We have a more cohesive story as to where all this needs to go, why it needs to
yeah,
line up the way it needs to line up. Because this person with a red lightsaber is going to set a lot of lore for pre Phantom Menace dark side stuff. So it
yeah.
needs to be really well thought out.
I think we should. I always do kind of like. I know I don't want to do the rule too, but I do like the idea of kind of one character being the mouth and the other one kind of being that sinister and masked
That's
character.
I like
I
that.
always
Actually,
find
you
that as a
saying that
good
though,
duo in movies.
you just said that, saying you said the mouth. The fact that this person only has a mouth that is visible on their mask and the rest of it's just like a sleek black shell. I wonder if that's what they are. If it's like a cult thing. If they're like they are the mouth. They are the one that speaks for this like Sith, while the other one is the eyes and ears or
Some
something, and they're in the back.
some Elder Scrolls thing there with
Hey, the Dark Brotherhood, yeah.
the hand.
Yeah, exactly. The listener and all that.
I
They
mean
are the speaker.
it'd be hard to like say they didn't steal it, but that'd be a pretty cool idea for a Sith cult for sure.
Yeah,
But I don't know what they listen. I guess listen to the dark side. I don't.
right.
But yeah, and we got some cool stuff. Yeah, it's I don't know how you're not excited for a new Sith character, a new Sith, and just a bunch of
Yeah,
Jedi in general. I mean, it's literally what people have been asking for. I don't.
right, exactly.
So it's for sure gonna be exciting.
We
It's
get a
getting
new
closer and
Sith in the
closer.
Acolyte, or at least a dark side. I wouldn't even know. But we do 100% with this new comic have a new High Republic Sith. They call him a Sith lord. So like we are getting more dark side stuff. I'm so happy that Dark Horse is getting to do this as well because they're the ones that originally made a lot of the Sith lore. So hopefully they'll get to bring a lot of that back in and not like have to uncanonize a lot of the stuff they worked on through the entirety of the early 2000s and 90s.
Yeah, he definitely does give an Old Republic vibe for sure. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping either Old
Darth
Republic or
Ravi.
Knights of Ren.
I love
Maybe
that
he's the
this
maybe
guy.
he's the original Ren.
That'd be amazing. I'd be down for that. That'd be fun too. I love this guy, this Darksider with his cool helmet, and Darth Ravi, the Sith we're getting in the comic, which I love him, but I just makes me think of Darth Ravioli. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how the show goes because we are
Oh,
getting an
it's gonna be
acolyte.
so good.
I know. If you read the description too, it talks about how the Jedi is because it's supposed to be kind of a detective, like a Jedi's investigating, and she links up with her old Padawan. So some people think the girl with the dagger is an antagonist, but after reading it, she definitely sounds like she's going to be the Jedi's partner in the
Yeah,
investigation.
I can see that.
Because it says she links up with her old Padawan, and I think she's her old Padawan.
Hmm.
And so they're both trying to figure out what's happening. And she doesn't look dark side.
Yeah.
Um, she just looks like a Jedi that turned into an assassin.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Same thing as like a
yeah,
Ty Yorick or something like that from the High Republic, which is pretty
it's
common.
it's
It's actually very common in this age for a Jedi to just abandon the Jedi
yeah.
Order and go do other things.
Well, I mean, they have reason for
Yeah.
doubt in the light side, even though that by this point, I think those people have kind of lost. There's
Hmm.
still reason to have doubts. But yeah, speaking of Jedi that have lost their way,
Yes,
we
we
had.
get into Tales of the Empire.
So should
Now,
we start
honestly,
in
no, we're gonna
chronological order, or do
no,
you
we're
want
gonna do
to
it
do?
out of order because we both have a lot of things to kind of say about the Barris Offee arc, which was
Which is
fun, but it's
which is
not.
funny.
It's a lot to say
I thought it
about
would be
nothing.
reversed. I
Yeah,
thought Bears would. I'd have a lot more.
me too.
I
Me too.
expected a little bit more.
What
Um,
you saw in the commercials was literally pretty much the
yeah,
whole story. It was all the story beats. She
it was kind
becomes
of like
Inquisitor. She sees that Vader is leader of Inquisitors. She no longer Inquisitor. Like that. There. It
and
wasn't
then
bad. Please do
kind
not
of
take
like
away from this that it was bad.
yeah.
That's not
It
our
just
point.
I just was disappointed she went so easily to the like gave up the Inquisitor thing and went
Yeah,
completely
she.
like I'm
It
I'm
was
really a
weird
Jedi.
because
It's like
she was recruited and lied to about the Jedi's betrayal and this and that, but then she didn't really become an Inquisitor. She was just a Jedi with a red lightsaber and black armor. She went through the training.
yeah.
She killed. She was willing to be angry and fight. And the Grand Master pulled all of that anger and aggression out of her. They did an amazing job with those scenes. But then she was still just a
Yeah.
Jedi the whole
Well,
rest of the time.
and then she also says she considers herself a Jedi, and I get the redemption. She doesn't really redeem anything. She kind of
Hmm.
does a couple little things, but it's just like when she's working for the Inquisitor, because she goes at the end, she goes, there goes the Jedi, and goes, and she says, "There's one Jedi left." I'm
Yeah.
like, do you? I haven't forgot what you did in the Clone Wars. Don't pretend that you
Yeah.
did it out of the kindness of your heart, because if I remember, this you bombed facilities twice. Well, attempted twice. The
Yeah.
first time you did, and you killed a ton of people because it was like a factory. And then the second one, you were gonna blow up the Jedi Temple, and you blamed Ahsoka, and that was the
Hmm.
whole reason why Ahsoka left.
And then you
Um,
happily were able to get angry and fight and try to kill the Grand
yeah.
Inquisitor. And then you were happy to
Only
kill. You choked
only when the child
your.
was involved.
Yeah, but then you choked your buddy to death. So she went through this dark path, but then was still like, no, just give up. We can save you. Like you didn't know that they don't save them. That they're just like you really had no
Yeah.
idea. And then she just say, okay, well, if you're not going to surrender, then I have to kill you because you guys betrayed the Republic. You're not that dumb. She's not that stupid. Like she just.
Right. And the funny thing was, is she, like I said, she was kind of still on the side until
Mhm.
it involved the child.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it's a child, so
we can't
that's
kill
the
a
line I
kid.
can't cross. And
Yeah.
then she just completely backpedals,
Yep.
and then she kind of bonds with the Jedi, and then of course the other I don't know what she was thinking. Like thinking the Inquisitor was just gonna let her constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was just
Flynn.
giving her a chance.
Yeah.
She kept giving him chances, and then she kept trying to swing the Inquisitor. And in the end part, I don't know. I just felt like I was kind of cheated in the end too with the whole maze
Well,
thing.
and I knew there was going to be a fight, and I knew all this, but I didn't expect her to just like with the mace thing to be like, all right, oh,
Yeah,
she killed me. Oh, well, now you killing me is your redemption because you're going to care that you killed me, so you're going to carry me out. But we don't even know if she actually redeemed anything. We know she
I
carried
will
her
admit
out, but did she stop being an Inquisitor after that, or did she go back to being an Inquisitor? Also,
that
what
was
would be
a
the point? Her being alive would have helped more people than her
yeah.
being dead. Again, like, but
That was a
at the same
that was a
time,
cool scenario, but I felt
she
like
did the
it
most
wasn't
Jedi
cool with those
thing.
characters.
She did one of the most Jedi things we've ever seen a prequel era Jedi do. She literally happily gave her own life to protect a child and a mother and to teach another person a lesson
And
and redeem them
without fighting. He
without
didn't even
fight.
have to
Yes.
fight.
So that's the thing is every Jedi that's what they were supposed to be. They're supposed to be peace-loving
Yeah.
sages who only protect themselves and
Yeah.
others
It's
and
just
willingly give everything.
it's just weird. How did she just like come to this epiphany that
Yeah.
this like I'm now a master? She gets a little bit older and was like she becomes like this healer sage
Mhm.
and is like all of a sudden understands the force better than most Jedi did.
Well, she was a healer beforehand too.
Yeah, well just I guess.
That's
I
the
don't know.
big
It
thing.
just
She
it
was a
just
healer, and that was one of her main things. She's always been a very good healer.
Well, it just felt like she went from because when she was a hero, it was like a Padawan, but
Hmm.
at this point, she's just somehow magically a master. At this point,
That's the beauty of the light side of the Force. When you just give in and become one with it, you can do anything at all ever. Period.
I don't know. It just felt kind of cheap, is all I'm saying.
No,
I
I get
know.
it. That's the cheapness of the light side of the Force. The light side of
Yeah,
the Force is like, hey man, once you just become like one with
I just
us,
wouldn't.
it's
I think it would have
all
been so
cool.
much better if she stayed dark side. I think we would have
I
gotten
think
a
it would have been better
cooler
if
ending.
she. I don't think it would have been better had she stayed dark side, but it would have been better if she was going to stay a Jedi the whole time. If she fought then the whole time, like she should have raised a little hell when she was like, "That's Anakin Skywalker
Or
behind that mask." She
or
should
the other
have.
thing is that could have. One thing I was hoping they're going to introduce the path.
Hmm.
At that point, she's going to link up and help them out. We're going to see finally going to see what's your name again?
But again, Asajj Ventress and
Asajj,
Quinlan
yeah.
Voss.
Seeing Asajj because we only get her a little bit and say we got Asajj returns. We know she exists.
Yeah,
Great way to reintroduce Asajj. She links up with Asajj and helps out the Jedi. But no.
but yeah, and again though,
Also,
I have to look at it as she does the most Jedi thing possible. She
I will say
becomes a
though,
little healer on a little planet just for free
yeah,
helping
but the
people.
worst location for your
Yeah,
healer hut.
yeah,
Just throwing that
uh-huh.
out there,
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they families have to literally travel through like hard terrain and blizzards just to get to your little hut. I get you trying to be hidden,
Yeah,
but you're gonna kill people just trying to get to you.
right. But at the same time, I don't think she didn't do the most
Yeah.
Jedi thing possible. But it was just like so weirdly written that the whole time I'm sitting there
Yeah.
like, why don't I feel like anything's happened? She again, like you said, she didn't redeem herself because she was a Jedi the whole time. She never really stopped. She just had a brief moment of anger and giving into the dark side.
But
But
don't forget
the second she was done with
I'm
training,
just saying the
she was
Clone
right back to
Wars.
being a
I,
Jedi.
st- I still remember. I'm just saying. I
No,
still remember the bombings she did. There's
yeah,
twice. Well, I guess one success, one unsuccess, because she didn't succeed on the second one.
right.
She got found out thanks to Anakin, but
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's the same thing as like when she killed her friend. She gave into a moment of anger, but she sadly let her anger
I'm
lead
just
her. And
saying that can't just overlook terrorism acts. That's all I'm saying.
well, then
It's
you're
like
not religious enough for the Force.
that's like saying Anakin redeemed himself for killing Sidious after he slaughtered all those children. I didn't forget.
No, you don't have to forget. I don't think Barris forgets either. I think now she's just like, that was dumb. You got to live with it. That's another part of the Force is you just got to accept the bad things that have happened and try to do everything you can to make them better.
Well, she has like one of the highest kill counts because of it too. It's that if you will, most of them were droids, I believe, but
Yeah, I was gonna
still.
say they were like when we really watch the episode, she didn't kill like 100,000 people or anything.
They were mostly droids, yeah,
She hurt
but
like 15 people and maybe killed like 3.
I guess it depends if you count the droids as a kill.
I don't. They're droids.
That's a lot of money, okay?
It's a lot of
I mean,
money.
what about
Hey,
droid rights, you know?
you know what? No
Just because you're
offense, they got to fight for that a little bit harder. Yeah, when they can go join their own planet and have rights, but a lot of them enjoy their service, man. Okay, if you wipe them every now and again, they enjoy what they do.
speaking of battle droids, we got a pretty cool introduction with battle droids for the
Oh,
other,
dude,
a lot better
yes.
story in my opinion.
A much
Um,
cooler story with crazier stuff going through it, and it had the
well,
same
awesome
amount of
intro
time.
with Grievous and the droids.
Yeah, it had the same amount of time, but it told such a different story. Such a more cinematic and just crazy good story. Yeah, it opens up with Morgan Elsbeth's story arc opens up with this amazing but sad culling of the Night Sisters, the war between the clone or the not the clone in the Clone Wars era though it is the fight that happens between Grievous and his Clanker army versus the Night Sisters when he's wiping them out because Sidious realizes these guys are a problem.
Yeah, it's weird that he wants to kill him, I guess, because they don't want to make more.
Mm-hmm.
But these ones aren't the same one as Dathomir. They're just kind of
Oh yeah,
like
they're
an
just
off.
wiping them all off. Yeah, they're just
They're kind of
wiping
yeah,
them out.
they're an offshoot. They do eventually do kill the ones on Dathomir
Mm-hmm.
or attempt to. Believe some make it out. For those that are confused why these ones look different on the Dathomir, which is the Dathomir and the Night Sisters are originally human. The Dathomirian ones just have inbred with the Zabrak, and that's why they look different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole thing to do with the planet and the Zabraks, and but these are kind of a like an offshoot clan. They're
Yeah.
not as evil, I don't think. Well, at least this group doesn't seem as evil, but we don't get to see a bunch of them.
And the other thing is we really learned from this that a lot of those that white skin and the markings comes from Night Mother and Night Sister
Yeah,
magic. So as Morgan
it's
is
like
fighting and her clan pretty much gets killed, you see
yeah.
they fade and she becomes more like what we see in the rest of the series for Mandalorian and stuff.
Yeah, we see some cool stuff with the we see these sickle blades and
Yeah,
some and other
Night Sister
weapons later
magic.
on. They ignite them with the which we see in Ahsoka
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen in Clone Wars as well. We've seen stuff similar.
Yep.
We see some runes. We get that more of the Egyptian style vibe, which really goes down to what the origin of Night Sisters,
Yeah.
which is kind of established in Jedi Survivor. I think was it the first one or the second one? I think it was the first one actually.
Fallen
I
Order
don't
talks a lot
remember.
about the Zepho. Survivor
Yeah,
doesn't
I
talk so
think
much about the Zepho, but a bit.
well, I'm talking about the Night Sister part. Pretty sure it was Fallen Order that you fight the Night Sister, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fallen Order is where you meet
yeah,
Marin
Fallen
for
Order.
the first time and go to Dathomir.
I get them mixed up a little bit. But they kind of established that more in Fallen Order, so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that it's now the for sure the canon, even though we knew it was the games were canon, but it's just
Yeah.
nice to have it reaffirmed. And as we keep mentioning this reaffirmment, which I'm going off tangent here, it really does feel like they're really enforcing this Night Sister thing, and it's
Yeah.
a good thing. I like it.
No, and it kind of it ties back in though. We meet a new clan. We meet this
Yeah.
mountain clan, which no weapons, pacifist, almost light side Night Sister Dathomir witch kind of clan or witch Night Sisters clan. And again, this is really pushing me back to this idea that Kujet taught these Night Sisters the Force, and then they came back with him to Dathomir,
Yeah.
and then they taught everyone else the Force. Like
Well,
they might have a lot more, or at least showed people, and like people are like, "Oh, what are they doing? Oh, really? They
I
can
was
do
wondering
what?"
if the other clan might be more related to the other Zepho, because the other
Mm-hmm.
Zepho did teach the Force as well.
True.
So I wonder if these Night Sisters maybe
The two other
were
sages that they talk about.
weren't banished
Yeah.
maybe with Khajiit and they stayed with the other,
Okay.
and so they maybe moved, and this might be one of the early planets that was kind of they kind of introduced and did a little bit, and that's why they're kind of more primitive because they've kind of um, you kind of think of like Native Americans how they kind of came over and they didn't really progress that far and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
stayed how they did. So they kind of an introduction of a culture into these people, and then they kind of just like establish this culture and just
Yeah.
were like this from then on. and there wasn't a lot of them. And then, especially since they're more matriarchal, they
Mm,
don't they don't overpopulate because there's not
right.
very many. You don't see any presence of men, so I don't know how that works. But yeah, snoo maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to see this different clan though, because it really then
Yeah,
puts into effect of the different worlds. Because that's what Morgan talked about is her clan was from a different place. So we're getting the fact that the Dathomirian, or I should say again, the Night Sister witches,
yeah.
took a lot more land and covered a lot more area than we think they do, and their clans covered a pretty good amount of space, it seems.
Well,
And it's
like I
it,
said, I wonder if they're the Night Sisters that maybe didn't follow Kijut when he got banished at the
mhm.
beginning, because they do act a bit different. The only thing
Yeah,
that looks similar, I mean, kind of sort of similar, is their temple style,
yeah.
but they don't act as dark as the other Night Sisters
But
did.
they are powerful because, of course, as Morgan is trying to convince these other sisters to bring their weapons in to fight and to take out this droid army that killed them, it leads, of course, to tragedy. A friend dies, and then the great mother of this clan comes in and just like EMPs the whole area and just blows up everything. It was crazy. Looks Morgan Elsbeth in the eyes and drops some hot knowledge of what she says, like, just because people might appear to be a pacifist does not mean they do not have the means to defend themselves, or something
But
like that.
and her force ability does not look like the Dathomirian
Not
magic,
at
which
all.
is
Yeah, it's
typically
blue and white.
green.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is white, which is more like traditional force.
Hmm.
Um, so that's one thing I don't think they're connected in the same instance as the Night Sisters. I wonder if they're just were taught some
Yeah.
force usage from the other Zepho, because there
Right.
was three other or the two other main leaders.
Yep.
I don't know. It's possible.
And I could see that too.
Um,
If the Zepho
yeah,
knew that they were coming to an end, like that their race is kind of dying out, then the good Zepho would want to teach the light side as much as they could, and then this evil Khajiit Jedi, Sith, or dark side would teach the bad. And we
yeah.
have like we're now getting this awesome lore for
Well,
the beginning. I'm so excited for that.
yeah. I wonder. I wonder if her clan is just the ones that didn't fully follow
Hmm.
Khajiit um down his evil line,
Right.
that like they taught portions of the dark side amongst them.
Hmm.
Dark side wasn't like frowned upon from the Zepho. So I wonder if they were just like from the original, and then the ones that we see that are at Dathomir and stuff, those are the extremists,
Yeah. Exactly.
and those are the ones that got banished away when he got banished.
Yeah.
And then that's why those are separate. That was my first
Yeah.
inclination, but because they just seem way different.
Hmm.
There's some similarities, but the way they
The way
act
they
and some of their
dress,
abilities
they just
and
they
the
did seem.
markings are different as
Yep.
well on their faces.
But it's so awesome to see. It gives us so many more amazing theories, as you guys can hear us talking about. It ends, of course, with her seeing just another burning village as everything burns around her. And we then go on to her in her time as the leader for this village, this planet, where she becomes a count or whatever the hell she becomes.
The
Magistrate?
magistrate.
Yeah,
Yeah, she comes
magistrate.
a magistrate. Kind of works her way within the empire,
Hmm.
which makes sense because
She kind of is the
her
inventor,
perspective.
and
Well,
her.
her perspective. She hates um the droid army, the
Yeah.
separatists. So she wants to join the opposite side. So she doesn't know that we know that Sidious is on both sides.
Hmm.
So that's one thing. For those that aren't super into Star Wars lore, my wife was wondering why she joined the Empire. Well, a lot of people that were anti-separatists were big on the Empire side, so that wouldn't happen again.
Right.
To them, the Rebel Alliance was the separatists.
Yeah.
So,
And then
but
we
yeah,
get but yeah, she seems to be the inventor or the company she's working with and the people she's working with in this mine of the TIE Interceptor, which is it's a TIE
yeah,
Interceptor, wasn't it? The three-winged TIE
yes.
Interceptor,
No, not the Interceptor, Defender.
Defender, yeah.
Defenders,
It's pretty
which
much
is
like
originally
the best TIE fighter
it
there
was
is.
the
Shielding.
main project that was taken over by Thrawn.
Yep.
He took it from another Imperial officer
And now we know.
and ran with it.
And
But
we've now learned.
we never knew who fully.
Yep.
We always assumed it was that officer that invented it. But she pretty much either, I don't know. It doesn't really say she invents it. She says she improves it.
Yeah.
So we just can assume that
She's
she
leading the
helped.
design of it
Yeah.
and stuff and things like that. So Uh, they shoot down her plans, of course, because TIE fighters are
Yeah.
cheaper, and that's all they care about is stuffing their pockets, fat cats. She gets approached by someone asking if she really cares about the Empire, a very mysterious figure, obviously working for Thrawn.
Yeah.
Um,
If
he
you
gives it,
recognize you will recognize the name if you're a fan of the Thrawn
yeah.
and Thrawn novels. Especially if you're a fan of the Thrawn novels, there's some intersections there.
Mhm.
I had a feeling it was Thrawn at the beginning, especially when we got a old Thrawn ally show up,
Yeah.
which was awesome. But yeah, uh,
But it pretty much just goes on. Then we get Rook back, the assassin, who like fights. There's this awesome fight scene between the
yeah,
two of them, really well made, which is a big test, of course, where Thrawn finally shows up after Morgan defeats Rook, and they have a talk about really joining the Empire. What's the point of all of this? Who Morgan will really side with? What true power is like? Taking over investment for the TIE defenders and stuff. So Thrawn shows up and does what Thrawn does best, sees the best possible outcoming solution, and sides with it.
yeah. And Thrawn's always been a big fan of other cultures,
Mm-hmm.
so I love to introduce her connection to him this early. I wonder if that's how he got introduced in the Dathomir Witches, or
True.
just the Night Sisters. Sorry, because I'm sure once he found out about her, he did his homework, and because he even mentions a bit about her,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure he's already done all this research on the Night Witches. So that it's a really good connection to Ahsoka that we kind of needed,
Yeah.
because otherwise it didn't make sense at first why he would connect them to those witches that we see in Ahsoka, but now it makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also get some connection, kind of pre-Mando, where we get there where
Yeah.
she's at her little facility.
Because at this time, the
Um,
villagers haven't been happy with her because they were expecting the Empire to completely back her, full money, all these great jobs, great benefits, and now they will be still working, but under Imperial doctrinate, which they're not, of course, fans of. Why would they be?
yeah, I like how
Um,
he just casually like points, and all of a sudden there's two Star Destroyers just hanging out behind her. She had no idea they were there.
yeah, I love that. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, you have backup now," and just doof, and then the third one comes in.
She's like, oh, is it the other guy trying to take our resources? Like, no, those are mine.
Yeah,
Those
those are
are those
mine.
are your those are mine. They're under your control now. It's
Yeah.
pretty. He's what he told her. It's like,
I love it because even the villagers, like they go down to the one who talks mostly with Din and Ahsoka in their Mandalorian episodes, and the villagers like, "What's that mean?" And he's like, "She has won." It's like, "Yeah, bro, you can't defeat her now. You're not going to take the village from Morgan with that much Imperial backing."
yeah, it's cool that she has ever since she's in that village, she has the Beskar spear the
Yeah,
whole entire
she said
time.
that the whole time.
Um, and yeah, we get
I'd love a
that, and we
story on how she gets that. That'd be a fun one.
yeah, yeah. I'm very interested. She's got this cool style. It is not the Night Sister style. It's
Yeah,
just, I guess it's maybe the planet style. It's just kind of a Japanese aesthetic, which we saw in the Mandalorian.
I can see it
Um,
still being Night Sister to a degree, though. But
well, the Night Sister stuff looked more Egyptian. Um, but yeah, we get a cool thing where she gets control. She has her mercenary
yep,
army guys that are all over the place. They look pretty cool.
yep, we've jumped
They look
ahead,
kind
so
of,
things look a little bit more bleak and stuff.
and then we go post episode or post Fall of the Empire,
Yep, we're
where she's
right
still in
before the
control.
Mandalorian, pretty much.
You get a ambassador from the New Republic, which is a person that used to live there.
Hmm.
I don't have we seen that species before? I
Not
don't
to
think
my
so.
knowledge, actually.
I didn't do research on them, but it looked new to me.
Very interesting
Um,
alien species, bipedal.
just a new head that I've never
Yeah,
seen before. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that in live action because I would remember a head like that for sure. But yeah, it was. She's an ambassador for the New Republic, which they're all confused about because they didn't even know the Empire fell.
right. They've had Star Destroyers still hanging out over them the whole time, so they don't think anything's different.
I don't think the Star Destroyers weren't there anymore, were they?
No, but more or
Yeah,
less it
yeah.
feels like it.
I'm sure they left to go back the war,
Yeah,
especially since Thrawn left, so they have
yeah,
a new
true. He
admiral.
disappears.
They had an admiral in charge of them now, so
Hmm.
they get put somewhere else since he's not keeping them there for his project that he wanted to enforce. Which the TIE Defenders were made, just not very many.
Well, I'm also sure that
Um,
Morgan was actually probably the only one who knew about Thrawn because of Night Sister magic. Those
yeah,
Night Mothers were probably speaking to her through some crazy like intergalactic magic, and that's kind of
yeah,
why she knew
she
everything.
probably, yeah, she probably did it because after the Mandalorian, she kind of fell and lost everything. She
Yeah.
probably tried to contact them. I don't know. I wonder. She tried to contact him somehow,
Hmm.
which it worked. So,
But
which we
man, yeah, it
saw in the
gets
light into Ahsoka.
it gets crazy dark, and we can really see how things end up as they are within the Mandalorian itself. Because once this person pretty much goes to speak to her about, increasing the pay and treating these people better, and uh, she will be arrested, and the New Republic will be here soon. Morgan, they're not going to take lightly to that, so they
Yeah.
all die. They just get immediately like set out.
Well,
She
I don't
run
think the new Republic doesn't show up.
No, not at all. She
Yeah.
runs off. She tries to escape, and by the time she gets to her shuttle, it blows up. And from there, the pretty much the final, kill
Yeah.
is taken. The
The
guy's
like
sad.
the
Morgan's pretty
receiver
much,
for
yeah.
the and we know what this we know
Bo
from
Katan or something was
um
on the receiver.
what we see on like Mandalorian and stuff that we see when it comes to the New Republic that they're not very capable of getting things done.
Yeah,
So they without any normal you would think normally like a response they would like well we got to go check on this because there's an emergency signal that
yep.
just set off but these guys aren't very capable. They're
Spread
still
very
dealing with
thin.
bureaucratic stuff and they still have people from the Empire in office.
Yeah,
um, and well, I will say those guards that she had were probably the most capable New Republic soldiers we've seen so far.
yeah.
Because
They did their
we've
best.
seen they were not capable fighters that we've from the New Republic up until we see in the sequels.
Yeah,
But those are the Resistance, so that's a
true.
different animal. But what we see in the New Republic, these are the most capable fighters we've seen so far. They actually make the her Morgan's little mercenary group look kind of lame.
Yeah,
They were yeah. I mean, even if her mercenaries weren't that good, it shows you how stormtroopers were so devastating that
hmm,
because normal people didn't have blasters and stuff.
right.
So the fact that these guys were able to walk around with blasters and keep people in line. So
Yeah, but they do again. Gets back. The shuttle blows up. They cut off the final communication that was this emergency signal that was sent out and briefly picked up. And then Morgan pretty much does like one of the coolest, most badass, like dark empire kind of things we've seen in a while.
yep.
It's pretty much says, well, if my world had to burn, so will yours. I don't care. And her mercenaries go out and light all of the trees on fire and burn down all
Yeah.
of the foliage.
Well, she kind of was like a consequence of like the New Republic
Hmm.
being there. See what happens when people come and try to
Yeah.
disrupt everything, and you turn your back. You burn the force down.
Yep. It's all your
So
fault.
and it was awesome. We get a kind of a different result
Hmm.
of kind of a trial where she's facing conflict and she kind of goes
Yeah.
more dark and dark. When she
Yep.
wasn't super evil to begin with, she was actually pretty light.
Yeah. True.
Um, I mean,
She
she
just
had
wanted to
some,
bring back the night. She cares about the Night Sisters. That's what she cares about.
but yeah, she just kept getting darker and darker, and I thought it was really cool.
Hmm.
It definitely, it definitely felt like some of it was needed. It kind of helped connect Ahsoka to the main story.
Yeah.
And then again, we're getting some more of this connection with the Night Sisters. Like we mentioned before, the tomb they had, the kind of like
Hmm.
temple tomb thing with the weapons, really definitely gives what we've seen of Zepho that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because they have, like I said, it has kind of this ancient Egyptian style vibe, which is what we don't have in Star Wars, so it's kind of neat. And then we get that again with the sickles because that's like a symbol used in Egypt,
Yeah.
as well as just the walls, the hieroglyphic symbol things they have, and it was really cool that like I said I feel like they're really trying to get us used to the Night Sisters, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping that either we see them more as a main villain coming up for a movie, or for I really hope they don't waste it all on the Mandalorian movie
Hmm.
or Ahsoka season 2. I hope the Night Sisters return as a main villain, which we spoke about for
Yes.
the Rey movies. I
And
think
yeah, exactly. it is the perfect time. We're loving these nice extra things. We're loving this dark side take, and like with the Phantom Menace back in theaters, it's what you said. It was like number 2 or number 3 in the
Yeah,
box office.
number two.
Number 2 in
We
the
have
box
all these
office.
big movies. You have that big Zendaya tennis movie that
Yep.
everyone's excited to see. Blew that movie out of the water.
Yeah. The
I don't
Phantom
remember
Menace from
I don't remember what the
night.
top one was, but
Phantom Menace 1996 had the number 2 box office release. Star Wars is still 100% a viable means of theatrical release media.
Fall Guy. Fall Guy was number one.
Yeah, which was a huge blockbuster, pretty much. People
It's
loved it.
insane on the week that it came out. I mean, Fall Guys 28 million first week, first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. It has major actors that
Yep.
everybody's all into. The main two actors are they're real hot right now. But Star Wars Episode 1, number 2 at 8.7 million over the weekend. It's funny because they have their total gross. The total gross is really funny because they include the first time it came out.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so at 8.7 million, and number 3 is the Challengers. Is that tennis movie? It's a
Mm-hmm.
7.6, and it just goes downhill from there.
Right.
But a movie from, you know,
1996.
a movie that's 25 years old is number 2 in the box office with all these major movies coming out over the weekend. You know, we got the new Godzilla movie,
Yep.
the new Civil War movie that's overhyped. I think it's terrible.
Here's the thing that's going to be amazing. I
The new
think,
Kung Fu Panda. It
yeah,
beat that too.
this shows out
Ghostbusters, that's
that we
not
will
that good.
still go to the theaters. This shows that a Star Wars nerd, a Star Wars people will still go see Star Wars, and normal people will still just go see Star Wars. So once the Mando movie does come out, it'll do great. I know it will, and that's going to help them a lot. Then the Rey
I think
movies are going to start coming out. Then we get
I think the
Dawn of the
Mando movie will
Jedi.
be blown out in theaters because
Yeah.
there's so many Mando fans for sure.
Especially those who got into. There are people who love Mando and don't even watch the rest of Star Wars.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are Mando only. They don't want to watch anything else. I try to tell them you got to watch this show. This show,
It's so good.
it's so good. You're missing out.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody that was like full on Mandalorian guy from way back when before Mandalorian Enjoy was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah, it's so funny. I'm looking at the top list, and it's like the Fall Guy, weekend gross, what I told you, and the total gross 33 million, and then Challengers total gross 32 million. It's going down, but it's like Episode 1 weekend is 8.7 mil, and then total gross is 484 million because it's counting the first time it came out.
Right, which was crazy. That's
Got
actually
25 years.
It's one of the things I recently talk about. I have a video, guys, coming out soon. That's just a love letter for the Phantom Menace. It did crazy stuff because it was so merchandised like heavily. I think I watched a little like video on it, and they reduced the funding for merchandising by like 50 something percent for Attack of the Clones.
Man, if you weren't alive, I apologize because it was a time to be a
Dude,
fan.
you couldn't go anywhere without getting Phantom Menace something.
They said chips, drinks, shampoo, everything.
If you wanted to go to a combination Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC, you could get drink covers. You could get.
I don't know
toys.
if you watched that video of that lady. She goes crazy. She does these TikTok videos. She acts like your crazy aunt.
Oh yeah.
I sent it to you.
Yes, I watched
and
it.
I love her videos. She does that funny Harry Potter one,
Mm-hmm.
but her Star Wars ones are hilarious. But if you know anything, the stuff she has, they're like collector items that like she has the old Jar Jar Binks sucker.
Yeah.
And she took the plastic off and has it. I'm like, dude, you're lucky you have it with the sucker part. Like that's so rare. And you took the plastic off for a video. And she also had the old Star Wars cereal and everything.
Yep.
Like
the
she has like well, she had the one of the old trash can and everything. She had she has all cardboard cuts. She's like it's like a lot of money, like a collector's dream.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if she has a friend that hooked her up for the video, but I'm like I'm looking at there. I'm like I remember when that was a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much money you paid for that, but I am so jealous of you.
I saw a lot of people over this last weekend, of course, getting their tickets for celebrations because those went live while getting ready to watch Phantom Menace and stuff, and they were all drinking out of their, Jar Jar cups or their Newt Gunray Taco Bell cups.
Did you ever see the schedule for the movies? I got one from a theater.
Dude. I
it's
did not because there was no way in hell. I didn't care because
it's
with the 2 year old,
insane.
there's no way I was doing that with the 2 year
Well,
old.
It's 24 hours.
Yeah, I bet.
Ends up being um yeah, what I do. See if I can find it real quick. It's insane. I couldn't do it. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, there's
Because
I'm
it's
good.
literally like with the little breaks in between,
Hmm.
and most of the theaters, because how the theater is, they lock the front doors. She was locked in overnight. Then like yeah, that's so torture. Ugh, I can't find it. There's so many cool
Hmm.
promos for everything.
May the 4th was, crazy. Again, like I said, they had to literally shut down the parks because they were hitting capacity. There was a 3 hour plus wait just to get into the stores. Like everything,
Oh, here it is.
it was an amazing weekend. I had a great time. I got a lot of great stuff, guys. In the comments, while you're liking and subscribing, just real quick, what did you get for May the 4th? You find any cool deals? I got most of my deals actually on Revenge of the 6th, which is a far better holiday, to be honest.
And are you a more dedicated fan than I am and went to go see the all movie release?
Oh God,
I wouldn't have
no
been able
way.
to.
No. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no. That's so much time to just sit in a movie theater.
8 p.m. to 7:42 p.m.
No. No. I'm good. I'm okay. I love Star Wars.
I own them all.
I
I can do
Yep, I
it
will
right
watch it
now at my own pace.
over the course of the next few days. I can happily watch everything Star Wars. Over the next few months, I could rewatch all of it if I wanted to go through all the shows and stuff again. But dude, you could not like. That's what I wonder if they're going to do a Mando marathon before the Mando movie. Like watch every season.
I, I mean, I could probably see a theater if they got permission to do it.
Would you
I
do
doubt
that?
it, but probably not.
I mean,
I might
that's
watch the
not
parts to
crazy,
catch
but
up.
that would
But
definitely be like.
I don't know. That's a lot of hours.
Well, they're
Because
not
each
all a full
episode's like
hour.
40. They're like 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
definitely it's
it's a
probably
lot
another.
of footage.
Yeah, I guess you're looking at another like whole day again.
You're better off watching movies, honestly.
You're looking at a whole day.
I would have to look up the time, but I'm pretty sure there's more Mandalorian than there are movies.
That's actually a good point. Now that you say, yeah, never mind. That would that's like a 2 day event.
It's like 3 seasons, and if you're not counting like the spin-off with like Boba Fett and stuff,
Oh, dude, yeah, good point. Oh,
which you
someone's gonna
might
do it
have
though.
to,
I guarantee you.
because if he's gonna be in the movie, you got to watch Boba Fett as well,
There's gonna be a theater that does it.
and
I
probably gonna have to
guarantee
watch
it.
Ahsoka. Um, the only one you have to watch is Andor.
All right, guys,
Um,
buy your tickets now for $75. We're gonna lock you in this movie theater for 4 days.
and there's not a theater around here that I would be fine with. Maybe one, but
If they promise to keep the kitchen staff locked in with us, and there's like a like an
and they give
actual
out fresh
bar.
popcorn and not.
No, I need a
And
bar. I need hamburgers and beer if I'm gonna make it that long.
well, we have one of those theaters that has like a full on bar,
Hmm.
and actually, if you go into the adult theater, which is the best one because there's like the full recliners
Yeah.
and it's like the better than like you what you imagine. It's like a full on
Yep.
like chair and it has heating and everything.
I'm so sad the
They have
Alamo
waiters
closed
that
here.
bring alcohol and
I
everything.
highly
Too.
recommend if you guys ever have an Alamo theater, go to it. We had an Alamo in Kansas City. It closed, but we have a good one still. B&B is still good.
They have like a burger diner
Yep.
and in the downstairs you can order from it as well.
Yeah, I love those kind of
But,
theaters because it makes the
oh,
movie so much more fun. And there's just a lot of memorabilia that they'll sell out with you and fun things like that. Because to me, that was like a big part of this, and they did really good on Disney with the stores selling memorabilia. There was only one thing that pissed me off, and about it was that pin. There was a gorgeous Padme Amidala,
I
uh,
tried.
yeah, right, pin.
I was on eBay and it went up to $60 and I was like, I got a bell.
Yeah. For $20, I would have happily given them $25, $30 for this pin. But you have to be a D23 member to get the exclusive pin, and I'm not giving them $100 a month. I don't go to the parks that much.
I think was it a month? I thought it was a year.
Maybe it was a year. Yeah, true, but it was
It's
ridiculous.
not
It's the
D23 isn't
gold.
even like it doesn't even get you into parks or anything. It's just like you get some benefits. So
at
if
the
you do go
shops.
to do things, you get like some perks and you
Hmm.
get some exclusive stuff out of it. They send you like a package, like a
Yeah,
yearly, like a package with like exclusive stuff. But yeah, if you are a D23 member and you're not gonna buy the pin, we'll
dude.
buy the
Yeah,
pin.
if you're a D23 member and you want to hook a brother up on that pin right there, let me know. Also, guys, thank you so much. Before we end this, I just needed to say thank you. We have a video. The Why is Darth Maul the true last Sith Lord? That video is at 2.2K views last I checked it out. Thank
Dang.
you all so much. That is amazing. Comments are going off the hook, and a lot of you, thankfully, are being very polite in the comment section. It's been a very fun talk with a lot of you. Where the channel is about to hit 300 subs, and when that happens, of course, I have my giveaway. So be sure to check down below. I will try to put in the like header and in the description down here the original giveaway video, unless the giveaway is already done by the time, because we're filming this on Wednesday. This drops on Friday. We're at 295. 5 more to go at the time of recording this. I guarantee we'll hit 300 before Friday. So we're gonna keep the channel growing. The community is gonna keep growing. This is only gonna get bigger and better. Once things start to get a little bit more locomotion to them, we will happily probably find a way to try and go back to lives if we can, or just do more lives when we get
Yeah.
the time. Because I would really want to do live stuff with the
If you,
community. So
yeah, for sure. If you can make lives and you want us to go back, we will for sure do
yeah,
it.
we will happily go back to lives if you guys just comment that you want them. Because otherwise, it's just easier to do it this way. But I cannot thank you all enough.
And
It's been an amazing
I
May the
believe
4th
we're
weekend.
gonna probably take a couple weeks off
Yeah.
after this.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
we'll probably come back the 29th for some pre-acolyte speculation,
Hmm.
and then 5th we'll be talking about acolytes. So the next 2 weeks we'll probably won't have any of the podcasts.
Yep.
I'm
But
sure there'll be still videos on the channel
there
for
would
sure.
definitely still be videos on the channel, and I will get bored at least once in those 2 weeks and pop on for a live probably because I can't help myself. But yeah, the podcast will just take a little break so we can all just rest, get some time away from nothing but Star Wars. That way, it's still a passion instead of a job, and that way we're also not trying to figure out random shit to talk about because I mean we're about to hit
Yeah.
a drought. But let's look at this. This is the biggest drought we've had in like how long since the last. That's what I love about current Star Wars with the shows, with the comics, and that's the real thing. If you read the comics and the books, we are nowhere near a drought
Yeah.
because June 11th is Temptations of the Force. So I'll definitely have some videos out about that, guys. Got to speak with Tessa Groton. She mentioned something about Porter Angle. So if you're interested to see what happens to Porter Angle,
That's
apparently
cool.
this book might have some pretty important stuff in it for you.
I'm a Porter Angle fan.
I'm a big Porter Angle fan, so. But yeah, guys, definitely more content to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of the House Holocrons podcast. And as always, may the Force serve you well.
May the force be with you.